I guess that's the way I like it. That makes me rumble. Don't we rumble? Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Ah, rumble, young man, rumble. Hey, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rumble.
This week on Fight Stuff. Guy throws hands with cop, and then slobber knockers and black belt beaters on sports. And Zeke and I introduce our top 16 cheesy movie fighters in the first half of some kind of backdoor pilot we call Brackets. It's Marshall Madness, y'all! Guy throws hands with cop.
All right.
Bobbing and weaving, swings on the cop. Cop ducks him.
Whoa,
Huge judo
takedown.
toss. That's an Ippon, baby.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is the will to win right there. Can you replay that again?
I don't think that ends well for him at all.
No. Cop comes trotting in. Wow.
Dude, oh my God. Like, what compels you to be like, fuck it, I'm just going to turn around and fight this first cop? Because there's...
Well, also, let's be fair. I think he eggs the cops on where he's just like, hey, you, I know I'm going to be arrested.
Yeah.
And what compels you as a cop to be like, you know, you're right. I'm going to engage in fisticuffs with a random person on the street as opposed to, you know,
Yeah,
anything else you could be doing.
I don't think the cop... I think he's just doing his job. I think he's just trying to get this guy, and he gets there first because there's 4 other cops who come in after. You know what I mean? Like, I think the cop who's squaring up is just doing his best. I don't think he's trying to square up even. He's way too bladed in his stance. He's just like, I think, just trying to get this guy, and then realizes the guy has turned on him to box him. Which
To me, okay.
Let's watch it again.
Yeah,
Let's watch it again.
He jogs in.
Realizes the guy's, oh, wow. Oh, and then, yeah. Oh my God.
Takes the back trip takedown.
I mean, the guy, he's got this outside reaping. What is that throw in judo? I don't ever know the judo words. I like know a handful of the judo words.
Oh,
you know?
Sotogari?
Sotogari, Uchimata, because Uchimata's like my favorite. But like, I don't know. That's just this like trip takedown. It's this outside trip.
It's almost straight up Gracie style from like UFC 1 where it's like, hey, we're going to clash, but really I'm going to just do a trip takedown and fuck you up on the ground.
Yeah, it's like just a body lock, and then snakes his right leg around the other guy's left leg and bops him onto the ground. That's a serious Ippon, though. That's like a knock the wind out of you toss.
Right. That cop is very lucky that 3 or 4 of his closest friends just happen to be there.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Like, if I was a cop, that's scary. Like, you don't want to grapple with someone if you have a gun and they don't.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. That's like...
Well,
I mean, I
I
went
remember
down to
this cop
YouTube-
has multiple weapons on them.
Yeah, I went
Nightstick,
down-
gun, probably
Right.
taser at this point based on this video. Like,
Which, if somebody's on top of you, that's scary. Like, there's a good chance they're going to get to your weapon first if you
Yeah.
don't know what you're doing. I watched, down a YouTube rabbit hole of like self-defense videos and stuff like you do. I watched a video of these cops who were just talking about that, about like a weapon retention thing. And it was really interesting. It's kind of like scary. They do this thing where like you basically grab the barrel of your own gun. So you have the holster, you've got the handle rather, and then you grab the barrel overhand, and then you fight with your elbows. And then it's like, it's hard to picture, but the idea being you can still shoot. You can get a round off
right.
while retaining control.
Wow,
And it won't
okay.
cycle because you're holding the slide so tight.
Okay.
But
So you
it's
can
like
get
a way to,
ass shot off.
if somebody's
Now, wouldn't
Yeah.
you also get like powder burn from
probably a little, but not as bad. I've seen a lot of
Not as
videos
bad as
online of
getting
people
shot
doing
in
the
the
test.
chest, like-
Yeah. I've done a lot of people doing the test where like they hold the, and you can do it. and
Yeah.
It's not like, I always thought it would just like fuck your hand up real bad, but it
Yeah.
doesn't. But anyway, this is a wild video. It's just, it's some guy, he's got to be drunk. To me, this has heavy UK vibes.
See, this has to me has heavy either Boston or Philly vibes just because
Yeah.
maybe that's where I did most of my drinking and like came up with terrible ideas like telling cops you'd fight them. It's like, put down your gun or give me your baton and you keep the gun and let's fight. Like,
Dude.
and them showing all the restraint in the world and not doing that to drunk
Yeah.
college kids. Like,
Could be Austin. It could be, you're right. It could be like a drinking city, like an outdoor walk around drinking
yeah,
city.
exactly. In my drinking days, there was definitely plenty of like antagonizing the police pre 9/11 where it was sort of just like, What do you mean we got to go? We're drunk and underage.
I mean, I'm definitely such a square that to me, I'm always like, what? Are you out of your mind? The paperwork you're going to have to deal with? The idea that you're going to actually fight a cop, just like the brotherhood you're fucking with that's going to destroy your life now. It
Yeah.
just is so insane to me.
When you're 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old and you've had a couple drinks, yeah, none of that factors into the equation.
I guess.
But that guy also looked like he was fucking like 35, like at least. Who was
That
just
guy-
like, yeah, I'm gonna throw down. I'm gonna throw hands, as the kids say, with this cop. Now, granted, this cop is out of shape
Dude.
and has no idea what.
This cop cannot believe this is happening.
Okay,
Oh.
couple things.
This
I
guy's got
guess
some
throws a counter
training.
1-2, but gets crossed up on. Look at that footwork of the cop. Ready?
Not good. Oh,
uh-oh.
God, that footwork is good night, dude. He's all crossed up.
Yeah.
There's no room to turn on his punch.
Rowing the what do they say? Walking the tightrope.
Yeah,
You
those
know?
cops, I mean, it stops right before whatever happens next, but I would not want to be that guy. Because as soon as he outside leg trips him, these cops are on top of him. Oh,
Yeah.
and we're in here, 4 of us. Also, why are the cops waiting around? It's like they're waiting to see what happens too.
Yeah, well, they're entertained too.
They're like, well, we want to see if he can.
Well, we haven't seen Charlie fight in a while.
Maybe
What's he
he's-
doing?
Dude, maybe that cop's an asshole. And the other cops are like, well,
Yeah, maybe he's the boss. He's the
I
sergeant.
will say good awareness on this cop keeping his chin tucked because his head does not bounce off the ground,
Yeah. No, that's very important.
which keeps this video more enjoyable. Oh,
Yeah.
it just looks a real wind knock out of you.
Yeah. Well, no, you have what 180, 200 pound, dude land on top of you after a trip takedown.
Dude, I got a vague sort of verbal tap out of Kyle doing jujitsu the other night.
Oh, yeah?
Because not intentional. I just stopped. I was like, but we did some kind of like sweep thing where I came up on top, like,
Yeah.
and just it was perfectly timed somehow. Where like he breathed out while I landed on him, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Oh," and I was like, "It stopped." He's like, and I was like, "It stopped." I was like, "You okay?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Just wind knocked out of you?" He's like, "Uh huh." But
keep going.
He continues to have the little brother thing of like things that never fuck other people up ever. He figures out a way to like get hurt by.
Yeah.
I like popped his jaw putting a rear naked choke, just showing it to him once, like a long time ago. I've never popped anyone's jaw. Like to this day, he can make his jaw click.
Because of you.
Yeah, because
And he brings it up with frequency.
Yeah, of like a thing. I mean, I've done jiu-jitsu for like over 10 years. No one else in my life has gotten their jaw popped by
Yeah.
a rear naked choke.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good. It's good times to have your little brother. Dude, I got 2 stripes on my brown belt.
Dude, congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's awesome. Was that a direct result of PANS?
Maybe related. I'm sure related. Just 'cause
How
I
does the
actually
stripe
got into
system
pain.
work, by the way?
I don't know. Well, I do know. I just
okay.
never. I don't pay much attention to it. Technically, there's 4 stripes possible on each belt.
Okay.
Before the next belt, like so that they're like sub ranks within, and that like the 5th stripe would be like the next belt. But I spent so much time in and out of schools and like inconsistent with teachers that I never got a stripe on anything until I guess my purple belt. I got 1 stripe at some point, and now I have 2 stripes
And then
on my
they were
brown
just like,
belt.
have a brown belt. Yeah.
It's not like linear. Jiu-jitsu is just, I think it has to do with like proving, like though competing helps. I'm trying to compete more a lot brown belt this year just to like, for myself too, to feel
Yeah.
confident. I want to get that black belt one day, But
Yeah, you're not far away,
give
dude.
Give me a year or 2. I'm competing more. I like to win some stuff. Anyway, hilarious. All right, well, good job with this little judo trip. I mean, thank you for being a fucking idiot and swinging on this cop because it's so entertaining.
Right. And cop, thank you for putting up a reasonable defense, kind of protecting yourself.
I mean, this guy is like, the trip is good. It looks like the guy maybe wrestled in high school, but the bobbing and weaving is straight up like I watched a Jack Dempsey video.
Right. No, that lead left hook was pretty bullshit. And
Nasty.
but that trip takedown is super legit. I
Clean.
like that. That
Clean.
body lock. Should we move on to This Week in Sports?
Yes, we should. Okay, do me some sports. Lead me through it. I wasn't paying that much attention to sports this weekend. I saw the highlights. Important things I should know about.
Sure. Great UFC card this weekend. I guess it was officially a UFC fight night, but as we learned as we tried to rewatch the fights, it was only available on ESPN 3.
ESPN 3, ESPN Trace. However,
yeah.
ESPN Plus does not have it. I was getting tilted.
Yeah. Jared was a little bit out of shape by the fact that he was having a really tough time.
If I say
watching.
tilted, does that make sense? Because I know that you say it in poker, don't get tilted. But
Sure.
do you know what that means? Like tilt, on tilt?
Are you talking about like? I mean, are the kids saying it these days?
It's common in video gaming, especially in League of Legends. They say it, and I've
Sure.
just taken it to the rest of my life.
No.
But in tilted in poker is like when you start throwing good money after bad. Basically,
Yeah.
you're tilted. You're just like so fucking aggravated by a bad beat or these bad hands you got like you should have won, but then and so you just get tilted because. Now you're just overly aggressive, pissed off, annoyed because of the injustice of whatever just
Sure,
happened.
I just assumed it was rooted in oh my god,
Jousting?
No.
A tilting field?
a pinball reference, like tilt, like that was the error message you used to get back on.
Oh, I don't. Maybe it is.
That's what was always referenced in cartoons when they were like they'd hit somebody in the head and then their eyes would like spin and it would say like tilt.
Oh, that's funny.
In like Looney Tunes cartoons.
I think it literally just has to do with being like, well, I've only ever heard in poker because they'll say a full tilt poker. It's like, but like this like on tilt means like aggro, whatever. And usually in like League of Legends and stuff, at least, it's somebody like you had a really close fight that you can't believe you fucking lost.
Sure.
And then you'll be like, that's a tilter. Or like, I'm fucking tilted now, or he's so tilted.
Gotcha.
And if you can get somebody tilted, it's very good because they just keep like dumping, they keep feeding you deaths. Anyway, but I say it in real life now all the time. When something like aggravating or simple that shouldn't be happening goes on, I get so tilted.
Well, I've seen a lot of kids use the word wrecked a lot, get wrecked and stuff like that. And like, I was just like, oh, I was at Super League long enough to see like
a good way to tilt
mug.
someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Is to get them wrecked.
So
Gagey.
Yes, Justin Gagey, first round knockout of Edson Jr. Barboza. Barboza?
Yeah. Is it expected or
No, so Edson Barboza has some of the most highlight-worthy kick stoppages in all of the UFC. He's stopped at least two people, like TKO'd them with leg kicks, body kicks, head kicks. He's just one of the most feared strikers in the division. And, Justin is no slouch either. I think he has a handful of first-round knockouts. So it was really a great setup to have two guys that are just going to go in there and swing away. What made this fight interesting, though, is that they both started off with exchanging leg kicks back and forth. And you're just like, oh, wow, Justin Gagey is playing Edson Barboza's game, which was rather incredible. He's just like, well, oh, yeah, you're the leg kick guy? Cool, I'm going to start kicking your legs. But, I mean, just seeing his overall record, too, of just like, if you see any highlight package of him, you see high-level guys who are tapping to leg kicks.
Yeah.
Which, you hadn't seen for like 60 UFCs, but Barboza's kicks are nothing. Huh?
Barboza was TKOing people with leg kicks?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
I love that. I miss those.
Oh, yeah. And everybody talks about it, too. There were posts on Instagram, too, talking about how people are like post-fight being like, I've never thought about tapping to leg kicks until I fought against Edson Barboza. Like, in fact, I still have a hematoma on my leg, or my knee still clicks weird from that fight, or like whatever it is.
Crazy.
Yeah. So he's just one of the most feared strikers in the division. And for Justin Gagey to come in there and knock him out, he was out on his feet before he hit the canvas inside of a minute and a half into the first round, I believe.
I think first round.
First round for sure. But it was just a brutal KO that no one really saw coming.
2.5 minutes.
Yeah. It was super, super impressive.
Yeah, Gagey's fun to watch fight too. Like the way he's swinging on people. He's got a very brawler style, I guess you'd call it, and he does that paint the target thing with his left hand, which I'm crazy about. I think that's so cool. Just feel it out. He eats a shot or two here and there.
Oh yeah. No, that's the other thing too. I enjoy. He's one of the most exciting guys to watch because he's always willing to take in order to give. Right. Like he's willing to sit in the pocket, and so far it's working for him at this stage in his career.
Yes.
But I mean, he was even talking about that too in the post-fight interview, where he was just like, "Yeah, I don't mind mixing it up with people." And again, so far his chin's holding up, but
it's not a great way to fight.
Not a long-term way to fight for most people. But so that was one of the more notable knockouts. We also had a very incredible fight between Josh Emmett and Michael Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Which also resulted in a KO. But for the first 2.5 rounds, Michael Johnson was eating Josh Emmett up. Josh Emmett had been away from the sport for about a year with some injuries, and this was really his first fight back. And a lot of people, including myself, had kind of been sleeping on him as far as like, all right, Michael Johnson's a little bit more athletic, has a 3 or 4 inch reach advantage, so he's definitely going to be able to implement his game plan. And he did to great effect. He was touching Josh Emmett up the entire fight, and he was down. I'm sorry, Michael Johnson was up 2-0 by most scorecards, and all Michael Johnson had to do was not lose. And in that third round, he got a little too comfortable. He was feeling himself a little too much. You can see him celebrating and hooping and hollering in the second round, being like, oh, man, I figured out my rhythm. And he just hangs in the pocket a little too much. And with a dangerous, powerful striker like Josh Emmett, lights out on a big overhand right.
Yikes.
Classic 1-2. 1 comes in just to distract him long enough. 2 comes over the top, overhand right, lights out.
Night. 4:14. Yeah.
Yeah. Less than a minute to go in the third round. And it's just like, oof.
Yeah, that is rough.
Seeing those last minute knockouts are always super impressive. And then lastly, I just want to, for us jiu-jitsu nerds, the co-main event of this fight. Besides the Justin Gaethje, Edson Barboza headlining event, there was the co-main event of Jack Hermanson?
Yeah, Jack Hermanson.
Jack Hermanson versus David Branch. And by most accounts, I think David Branch was pretty heavily favored in this fight. Renzo Gracie, black belt.
Which is one of the best black belts you can have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Renzo Gracie's like, all his fighters are kind of like top of the heap in the submission world these days. And yeah, damn.
No, I mean, everything. Yeah, David Branch was definitely on a winning streak. And then he meets, did we discover he's a Swede?
He's Swedish, trains out of Norway.
Jack Hermanson taps Renzo Gracie black belt, David Branch in 49-second arm and guillotine.
Crazy. No. It was like a weird. It looked like almost like a triangle choke. Let's watch it again. Like this beautiful wrestling trip. And the way he ties up here is very Henzo-y, actually. Oh, you're right. It's an arm and guillotine.
Come on, son.
You're right. Really quite good. Quite good. Damn. Very
like over the top, so he can't roll out. I mean, it's
arm and guillotine is an I mean, I still am not very good at arm and guillotine. Some people are. I don't know. Some submissions I think like fit different people better. Like fit their bodies better. Like they have the leverage for certain things. And I actually arm and guillotine is something that I should have the lanky arms.
Yeah, you got the lanky arms for. I certainly don't. I use it to transition to like I'll bait that and then go to a regular guillotine.
Yeah,
just because I have shorter arms.
It looks to me in that fight like it looks like sometimes people like have this funky feel to them. I still remember like one of the more demoralizing things that happened to me one time in jiu-jitsu, which is one of the beautiful things of jiu-jitsu, was like this guy came to train with us. I was I think a purple belt at the time already, and he was like this wrestler, this biggish wrestler. He would coach wrestling and stuff, and he took me down and did some weird ass neck cranky cradle thing that was like so uncomfortable. And I tapped to it, and I remember in the moment being like, "What am I tapping to? This is like not a thing that I'm tapping. What the fuck? Oh God!" And then I'm tapping, and sometimes I think like that fight, it looks a little like that guy just didn't think he was being threatened.
David Branch did not think he was in trouble. That I've seen that look. I've been that guy. You've been that guy. We've all been that guy.
I know. I think he was like, oh, okay, this is a weird scramble. He's on my back. I'm not worried
he's
about
on my
it.
back, but the hooks aren't in.
I've
he
been
doesn't
here a
have
million times.
Right.
No real threat.
I'm a Renzo Gracie black belt. This isn't a thing.
Head and arm are collected, but it doesn't see. He's not gonna be able to tighten that up. And then
he does.
He just does, which is you know. You
can see how bummed out he is afterwards. He's like, wait, did that just happen inside of 49 seconds?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Fighting is so cool because of that.
No,
it's
incredible.
Don't know what's gonna happen, and if you're not. You can even be on a good day and still you just don't know in the weird scramble what happened.
There are so many ways to lose, and things like that happen all the time. And historically, David Branch has been sort of a slow starter, but even still, when that bell rings, you kind of have to know what's going on. But he was so bummed. You just looked at him. He's like, damn it.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate.
Is that it for your highlights?
Shall we talk about it?
Yeah, here's what we're going to do for our weird show and tell section today. This is something that we're doing a thing that I've wanted to do for a while. Zeke and I have talked about this for a long time. I was doing just like a brackets show.
A bracketology show?
Yeah, sort of, bracketology, bracketonomy. I don't know. But we would just do brackets, like March Madness style.
Right.
But in this case, it would be Marshall Madness. Because we're going to rank who we think are the top 16 fictional action, martial artsy action. How should I say this? We picked who we believe are the top 16 fictional characters from martial arts action movies of the 80s and 90s.
And 2000s, kind of.
I don't think there's any 2000s in here.
Isn't John Wick on there? No?
No, I took John Wick off.
Oh,
no,
you did?
there's no John Wick. I just want to be clear as we talk about this. It's not straight up movie. It's like people who are fictional. So
Yep.
it doesn't have to do with them being real karate people in real life necessarily.
Doesn't matter. Got it?
Who have some kind of style, karate-ish, like it's an action movie that has to do with like hand-to-hand martial artsy type stuff.
Right.
They have to have some proficiency. They could be a boxer, they could be a kung fu guy, whatever.
Could they be a sword player?
Well, we shall see. So we seeded what we felt were the top 16, and we bracketed them out. And so what we're going to
so
do...
we ranked them from 1 to 16, and then we filled out our bracket accordingly.
Yeah.
So hopefully over the
Some
course
people
of...
would find this very boring and pedantic and whatever. I don't think there are many of those people. I think there are a lot of other people out there who love lists.
Yes.
And they love arbitrary arguments about things that we can never prove one way or the other.
And they like brackets.
And they love brackets. There can be only one.
Listen, people love filling out brackets. March Madness is like one of the big things in the workplace that will prevent people from doing work. They talk about lost inefficiency during March, and it's largely responsible because of the March Madness tournament. Because people who don't care about college basketball at any point in the year are all of a sudden like, go Gonzaga, or like go Southern Texas University.
It's just so fun, like a weird tournament style. It's so satisfying. Like who's gonna anyway. So we are doing our first bracket. Now I want to do a show called Brackets eventually.
We've again been kicking this idea around forever.
It could be everything. You do one about different kinds of bread. You do one about seafood. You do one about cars. You do one about like just whatever. And you can get as specific or as broad as you want in the category, but then you just arbitrarily debate and find one. You get the top 16, you just seed them out, bracket them with each other, and then that's it.
You have a winner and you declare it.
That just
and you
sounds
move
so
on.
entertaining to me.
Right.
So to start today, we're going to break this into a couple episodes because this is going to take too long.
This is going to take way too long. And it was probably a bad idea to do 16, but 16 felt...
Fucking it feels right.
Feels so
16.
good.
8 on each side.
All right. So let's start down just
Yeah.
our rank, starting with number 16, and let's work our way up
Okay.
to our number 1 seed. All right. In 16th position, Red Sonja from the movie Red Sonja.
A lot of people are going to be like, who the fuck is Red Sonja? I'll tell you. Brigitte Nielsen played Red Sonja, who was a minor character in the world of Conan. And they made a movie, I believe, and I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure, that when they made Red Sonja, they made it after Conan had come out.
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is also in Red Sonja, playing Conan basically, but he's not Conan.
But he's not named Conan.
He's named like Calidor or something
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
like, oh, Calidor, what are you doing? It's like, my name is definitely,
it's
definitely
like
not Conan.
Another fucking studio has the rights to Conan, and this studio got Red Sonja. Fine, we're just gonna.
But they got Arnold.
It was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid, for sure, and it's fucking bad.
We just watched the trailer to just try and remember some of the badness of it.
Yeah.
And it was unwatchable.
It's a masterclass in how to make a horrible trailer.
Right.
Like it tells you everything that happens in the movie.
It tells you the ending.
It
tells you
shows
the ending. It shows you the ending of the movie in less than 2 minutes into the trailer. And you're like,
Yeah,
great.
And for a 2-minute trailer, it feels like it's 2 fucking hours long.
Feels so much longer than it really is.
That being said, Red Sonja as a character is super badass.
Brigitte Nielsen is amazing.
Red Sonja was basically, my understanding is like left for dead. Her family was all killed. She got adopted by this group of some kind of like warrior monks and learned how to be this swordswoman and was like the best at sword fighting. And, blah, 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 whatever. A fantasy thing ensues. The point is she's real good at sword fighting.
She's good at sword fighting. And
but she's kind of a female Conan.
yeah, absolutely.
Super badass.
Super badass, super hot. Her and Arnold end up sharing perhaps one of the most awkward on-screen kisses in the history of
definitely
on-screen.
an awful on-screen kiss. Brigitte Nielsen remains a badass though in real life, and also after all the Flava Flav stuff, she married Stallone for a while in the '80s. But I just thought it was fun when we were looking this up to see that she's vocally opposed to Bryan Singer directing the new Red Sonja movie.
Sure, on what grounds? Because she wants a woman to direct.
She wants a woman to direct, but also because
Bryan Singer does Bryan Singer things, right? Yeah, if we could not give Bryan Singer any more movies for a while, Hollywood, that would be really, really great.
Really great. As badass as she is, Red Sonja does kind of rely on swords for her shit, and I think that takes her down a notch in our little fighting. And we should say also there are some supernaturally empowered people on this list.
Yes.
So this whole conceptual fighting tournament, this whole kumite that we're putting together, takes place in a universe we're saying where powers are compressed to the human realm.
So if you were an audio engineer and you were looking at a compressor, essentially we'd be taking that middle band and making the bottom a little bit higher and the top is being compressed down a little bit. So like supernatural things are kind of not really taken in consideration.
Yeah, we're not saying like if you could lift a car because you have some superpowers, we're just taking it down like you're just strong.
Yeah,
it's
you're
fine.
a strong person.
So we just want us to be about skill, basically. Skill and toughness, mental sort of things like that.
Right.
So Red Sonja is in our 16th position.
15, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Specifically from The Last Crusade.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, people might be like, well, he's not really a martial arts karate guy. That's right, but he's a classic brawler in the Western style of brawling. Very tough. And it's some great,
He throws big looping punches.
Yeah.
His toughness, his dexterity, his ability to improvise with things around him is incredible.
Yes, his use of
He's very
environment.
resourceful.
Very resourceful, as seen in the first Indiana Jones when the guy wants to have a sword fight with him and he just shoots him. Love that.
Exactly.
And, and then we're talking about in Crusade, because he gets in this fight with this big, strong Nazi in front of this airplane, uses his environment
to his advantage.
Grinds him up in a propeller.
Exactly.
So
one of the most
15th
iconic
position,
scenes, by the way.
So
I saw it recently. That scene is still amazing.
Oh, yeah. That scene in particular is just really impressive, like tension and how they're getting it in all these different places. It's great.
14, Martin Riggs, Lethal Weapon.
Martin Riggs is our first real grappler on the list, I'd say.
I would say.
Besides being very tough and killing being one of the only things he's good at, as he says in the movie.
He's also good at drinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Riggs is apparently okay at jiu-jitsu. He has a big fight with one of the main bad guys in the end of the movie on the lawn of this, which, much like our viral clip of the week, the other cops just let him have a fight.
They're like, hey, you want to have a fight? Knock yourself out.
Like, we got to work this out. And apparently, if you're like special forces guys, they let you do that.
Yeah.
But I think he finishes that fight with a nice triangle choke. Very like early days of Gracie jiu-jitsu. So Martin Riggs.
Their stunt coordinator must have been a jiu-jitsu guy, because who else would come up with that shit? Yeah.
All right, that's 14. Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon.
Number 13, Kwai Chang Caine. Kung Fu, The Legend Continues.
Played by David Carradine.
For those of you who don't recognize that name, David Carradine from Kung Fu, The Legend Continues.
He just had yes. By the time he's in The Legend Continues, he's an older man.
Yes.
But he's still a master of like Tai Chi or some shit. Mm-hmm. And kicks the fuck out of people all the time in that movie, quite literally.
Yeah.
A gun will come out, his sandaled foot will just kick it away, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I couldn't see this list not having David Carradine on it. I think that his technical abilities will take him far in this fight. Farther than people think.
Okay. I will indulge you on that.
He was a wandering monk before that. Wasn't that like a Western, the original Kung Fu?
I kind of thought it was.
And then somehow it's like, who's he supposed to be, his grandson? Or I don't know, but it doesn't fucking matter. David Carradine.
David Carradine, everybody.
Classic fucking Kung Fu shit.
Shall I move on to 12?
Oh, yeah.
Raphael from the Ninja Turtles. Now, are we saying Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie 1?
That's correct, which we're going to watch the trailer of.
Was this from 1990, I believe?
This movie came out... Good job, Zeke. 1990.
Jesus.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. All right. Let's.
I can't remember what is. I couldn't remember the movie I watched yesterday while describing it to you. But of course, I somehow have an idiot savant's memory of knowing that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original, came out in 1990.
Let's see what was going on in this classic martial arts film. Oh, fucking Shredder.
Our playground to use as we please, rewarding ourselves and punishing our enemies.
We've been looking for
Oh,
you, Miss
God,
O'Neill.
yes. April O'Neil.
There is a new enemy, freaks of nature. Together, we will punish these creatures.
What the heck was that?
Looked like sort of a big turtle in a trench coat.
Freaking Toidles.
New York, baby. Only in New York.
Hey, and they skateboard.
Dude, they skateboard because they're teenagers, dude.
Yeah. Just like that's why they eat pizza, too, right? That's what teenagers do.
I love being a turtle.
Fuck
Wow.
yeah, dude.
A
March
minute and a
30th,
half.
1990. Almost like exactly,
A couple, almost,
what, 29 years ago?
yeah, 29 years ago. Almost to the day.
That makes
That makes me feel
old.
dude.
Anyway, that's a great fucking trailer. I think.
they move. That thing moves. I see images of April O'Neil. I see images of the Shredder. I mean, it's
Ninjas all over the place.
80% the Shredder in that.
The Shredder is a very good bad guy.
Oh, he's so good.
Well, whatever. We can get into it. So we'll get into it later. But Raphael, why did we pick Raphael? Because there's only one turtle that we picked.
Right.
We debated. I think it was pretty obvious that it was going to be Raphael or Leonardo. If it was straight up on weapons, I still think Donatello technically would be the best. I think like there's a lot of
He's
evidence
also
online.
arguably the smartest turtle, too.
He's
He
the
was
smartest. He's the science one.
Yeah, yeah.
But the bow staff is a very dominant weapon if you know what you're doing, even more than because it's like longer reach and you could just knock swords out of people's hands and stuff like that. But definitely for fighting spirit, I just think Raphael. He's the tough one. He's the angry one. He's the one that like he looks out of the sewer in that movie and goes, "Damn," and then just disappears. I remember being like, "Whoa, he said damn."
Oh,
shit.
man.
So cool. Yeah. That's when I think April O'Neil finds his sai at the scene of the crime and puts it into her purse. So there you go. Raphael, where's he at? 12?
He's at 12.
Yeah. So surprisingly further down the list than I thought, but he's one of those people that you have to make he's part of our compressor out of Supernatural. Because I think we might not be supernaturally strong, but he does have that shell.
He has a shell, which gives him an advantage. But also, I think, if you see the muscles on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they're pretty jacked.
They're juicing.
Yeah. They're definitely jacked.
They're on ooze.
They're on the ooze, the secret of the ooze. Maybe that was the secret of the ooze.
All right, so
Moving
there you
on
go.
to number 11, Ivan Drago from Rocky IV.
Ivan Drago. Yeah, go. You strong.
Yeah, I
felt.
strongly feel about Drago. He is made of steel in my mind. He's 7 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he kind of was in real life anyways. And he was sent from Russia to destroy poor Rocky.
Right.
And his journey, that entire movie, that's probably my favorite movie of all of the Rocky movies for a variety of reasons. But also, besides the ending message of togetherness, the fight sequences are incredible. But also, he represents the prototypical bad guy. He's bigger than you, he's stronger than you,
Right.
and he's tougher than you.
Mentally tough. Yeah, he's just like so focused. There's no humor in him.
No, humorless Russian, like playing into all those stereotypes.
Murderous will. That's
Exactly. That's all he wants to do is kill. And so that's why he's number 11 on our list.
it. Love it. Right above him though, we had
We couldn't forget
number 10.
number 10, Rocky. And I guess we also listed Rocky 4.
You were adamant. He's also the Rocky from Rocky 4. You feel is the toughest Rocky.
Yeah, he was. He fucking beats Ivan Drago. But also he evolves as a fighter too.
Yeah.
Think about it. Rocky 1, I'll argue that Rocky 1 is not a very good movie. It does not hold up well. I don't know. Have you watched it recently?
No. I have
Okay,
not.
super problematic as far as how Rocky essentially stalks Adrian for the first 70 minutes of the movie.
Cool.
Yeah, like literally tracks her down at the sketchy pet store and is just like, "Hey, what's going on? You want to go out with me?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Yeah, you do." Like it keeps going on from there and there.
Yeah, I want to see that. That's
Oh, yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
It's very moving at the end still when he's like, oh,
No, it's super moving as a movie, but like if you were just watching it through the lens of 2019,
Sure.
you're just like,
not okay.
"Ooh, this feels really stalker."
Well, so I will also say, as a side note, these are the only two characters that we picked from the same franchise.
Right.
And one might be like, well, you know who wins that fight.
Right.
But in real fighting, we have rematches all the time that go the other way.
Right.
Anything can happen in a fight.
And also, they're not necessarily fighting each other in this bracket.
That's right. They're probably, or I think they're definitely not, at least in the first, for sure. But we felt strongly that these were two iconic characters that should both be on this list.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. More than Thunderlips, more than any of the other characters from the Rocky franchise. So like, we feel like Rocky at 10, Ivan Drago at 11 are super solid. But let's move on to number 9, Chuck Norris from the movie Sidekicks.
Yes, that's right. You thought, we were like, wait a minute, why are they saying an actor all of a sudden when they must mean so-and-so from the movie played by? No. In Sidekicks, Chuck Norris plays Chuck Norris, the imaginary friend version of Chuck Norris, and then also he plays himself. So he's actually playing two versions of Chuck Norris in that movie.
He had to pull double duty in that movie.
It's Chuck Norris playing imaginary friend Chuck Norris, and then it's Chuck Norris playing the real Chuck Norris that the guy meets eventually. We are actually going to watch the trailer for Sidekicks, which I have not seen. It came out in 1992.
For your listening enjoyment, here is Sidekicks.
Oh, just a teenager with a machine gun.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks for helping me out again.
That's all right, Chuck. That's what sidekicks are for.
I've had talks with him about the daydreams. He's made up this world where he can be,
Chuck Norris?
He says they're sidekicks, that they do things together.
Barry is only a winner in his dreams.
So where's your friend Chucky now, retard?
Now, there's someone I want you and your dad to meet.
But hope is coming his way.
That is your first lesson. You must always be ready. I will help you learn what you want to know. You will work with these an hour each day. If you make a mistake, they will sting you. Look out! Start climbing.
Now he has the guts to try to be worthy of his idol.
Hey, Barry, don't listen to them. Listen to me. I'll race you to the top.
Oh, I can't.
Who the hell is he talking to?
You can do it, Barry!
Is that Winnie Cooper?
Yeah, that was Winnie Cooper, for sure. This movie's good.
We always seem to meet this way. It's not gonna be so easy this time.
Oh.
Do you want a real shot at me? Karate tournament? If you're not too chicken. Why don't you just quit now to avoid the embarrassment?
His hero.
Dude.
Out of his fantasies.
Hi, I'm Chuck Norris.
And fight at his side.
Why don't you and I go win this thing, huh?
A dreamer. A champion. An unbeatable team.
Ugh. This fucking still looks good to me.
It still it takes me back. It definitely takes me back.
I was really expecting that to be just so, and it's so 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so fucking 90s, but like, that's a good idea for a movie.
The imaginary friend conceit.
I don't know, the imaginary friend, but then they like tie in like a Karate Kid storyline. It's like, we're going to put it in the real world though too.
Sure.
And it's just like, I feel like this is in the era too when you could just sell a script for like a lot of money. People are like, this is a great idea for a
This
script.
is definitely
Wow.
spec market material where it's kind of like, okay, so Chuck Norris plays an imaginary friend that allows him to make it through life only
Yeah.
to show up in real life at the end as his true sidekick, because that's what sidekicks are for.
Yeah. Well, tremendous. Okay, so Chuck Norris playing Chuck Norris as Chuck Norris.
In a Chuck Norris film known as Sidekicks.
He got on the list, and he got on there at number 9.
Number 8, Sue. From the classic movie, the DMX classic, Cradle to the Grave.
We're going to watch that trailer right now. Here we go.
All right, y'all know what to do. Let's get it on.
Yes. Yes, let's get it on.
Big heist. Risky heist.
Big risky heist. That's the fucking craziest. Wow, dude.
Something good. Something expensive. Ooh, jackpot. Ever see a black diamond?
Well, I've seen a white diamond. Hell, I've seen Neil Diamond. I got a bit. He is awesome in concert. Never seen a black diamond.
Tom Arnold. Yes.
Yeah.
I want my stones, Mr. Fade.
I'm not gonna be able to do that. Who are you?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this is
I'm
our
Jet
character.
Li.
Jet Li's here.
What are you, some type of kung fu James Bond?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly who he is.
We can help each other.
This guy's in on everything that goes down in this town. And he has an army. What is it with these stones?
The stones are not what you think they are.
The no gun policy is no longer in effect. Break out the heat. That's what you hearing. Listen. 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 That's what you hearing. Listen. I'll give it to you. I got such a good heart that I'm your own ex gonna deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up.
I mean, this song is still one of the best fucking hype up workout songs ever.
Dude, I'm going to play it at the gym tonight when I go. Like, the international sign
No,
for
it's-
knowing that you're in a sparring gym is this song.
Totally.
Anytime you hear DMX.
Wow. This makes me want to watch Cradle to the Grave again.
Probably 2 decades since I've seen this movie, but I am pretty hype on this.
Yeah. So the character from that we picked. Well, we needed Jet Li. We knew had to make this list. A Jet Li character had to be on this
absolutely.
list.
And we were trying to think of like iconic Jet Li characters.
That just feels like the one.
Yeah, and also I think we wanted to put DMX on this list.
Yeah,
too.
he didn't make it. He just didn't make it because he doesn't do enough karate and stuff in it.
Yeah,
which I know we've made an excuse. There's other brawlers on the list, but they're more iconic brawlers.
Right.
And Jet Li as Sue, S-U, that's his name in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so badass. Like, he does this constant thing where he just, like, doesn't put his hands up or move. He just seems to know everything everyone's going to do all the time and just gets out of the way.
Right.
Uses his kicks instead of his hands.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, it's like if you've ever seen a person dance, like kind of like river dance, where their upper body doesn't move and their feet dance like crazy. That is Jet Li in this movie, where his feet are constantly moving, but it's like his torso is paralyzed.
So there you have it. 8, Sue.
Yeah.
Cradle to the Grave will be, he's number 8 in our bracket.
Now, moving on to number 7, Detective Inspector Yang
Nang Lee.
Lee.
Detective Inspector Yang Nang Lee. Who is that, you might ask? Well, of course, he's Jackie Chan in Rush Hour.
New actor, Jackie Chan, from the movie Rush Hour, which we're also going to play.
I'm going to play this fucking trailer.
Back alive. Listen and do not talk. The drop will be made tonight. The amount will be $50 million.
$50 million? And who you think you kidnapped, Chelsea Clinton?
Oh, Chris Tucker.
Holds up.
His job just a little too much.
You destroyed half a city block.
That block was already messed up.
But the job.
All right, everyone knows this shit.
Which one of y'all kicked me?
Which one of y'all kicked me? I mean, it's just like very fucking good, and it's peak. Why do we pick this one? I think because more people know about Rush Hour. Jackie Chan is a tough one to pick because Rumble in the Bronx is a big contender, and so is Drunken Master version of Jackie Chan. But this one we're going with just because I guess he's like kind of iconic. I guess
This was really his first big movie in America.
Yeah.
Rumble in the Bronx was, but like if you want to talk about mainstream stardom, it was definitely this movie, especially when you team him up with Chris Tucker, and then he became like the man.
Yeah,
for
and
a
he's
long period of time.
got this just mix of the difference because Jet Li's in this movie too. He plays the bad guy in this
Right.
movie, and it's a good contrast because that thing, I always think that like sense of humor, like does someone have humor in them affects my sense of them as like a fighter. And it's cool to see like Jet Li plays this like humorless kung fu assassin, and Jackie Chan is like a little bit of a clown, fucks up a lot. He takes
He's a buffoon.
hits.
Yeah, he's always taking hits.
It's amazing. So it's like he's very skilled, but also
fallible,
imperfect.
Yeah, he's imperfect,
and I think that makes him fun and exciting, and also gives him that sort of like wild card quality. So,
well, it also like with Jet Li's character, you're like, all right, he's gonna fuck some people up. With Jackie Chan's, you're like, oh man, he might get hit again and again and again. So it creates this dramatic tension of like, man, is he actually going to win this fight or this interaction?
Yeah,
or whatever?
There's a sense of him like has to overcome something, and it just makes it more triumphant or more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the shit. So he's number 7.
Moving on to number 6, the classic character of Dalton from Patrick Swayze's Roadhouse.
You know we got to do this trailer. Here we go.
Can I buy you guys a drink? Guess not.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that typeface.
Dalton, I thought you'd be bigger. Opinions vary.
When he's around, anything can happen.
How does a guy like you end up a bouncer?
Just lucky, I guess.
And usually does.
If somebody gets in your face, I want you to be nice.
Don't be rude.
Ask him to walk, but be nice.
Help this gentleman to the door.
Till it's time to not be nice.
So says the fighting philosopher.
Dude.
He may be hard to handle.
I keep talking, you're gonna go off thinking I'm a nice guy.
I know you're not a nice guy.
But he's easy to like.
What's the matter, Dalton? Don't you like women?
Worst I ever had was wonderful.
He's not what you'd expect.
I thought you'd be bigger.
But there's one thing you can count on. He's the best friend a good time ever had.
What the fuck does that mean?
You guys tired?
Doc, I'll get all the sleep I need when I'm dead.
Dude, Sam Elliott was really good looking.
Dude.
My time.
I'm not afraid of him.
I guess you'll be having that fire sale now, all right?
Got your hands full, kid.
Dude.
I just think I'm looking at a dead man.
Patrick Swayze.
For that line of work, I thought you'd be bigger.
Wow.
Gee, I've never heard that before.
Oh, that typeface.
Yeah.
That fucking rules, dude. I mean, fuck, that's amazing. Sam Elliott, by the way, I like to think that he's playing the same character in A Star Is Born.
I think he's playing the same character in almost everything he plays.
No, I'm just saying I think it should be canon that Roadhouse and A Star Is Born are the
or
same
in
universe.
the same universe?
Yeah.
Totally possible. Totally possible. That movie is so incredible.
Yeah, that's a classic. Anybody who fucking is into fighting at all, I think, has a special place in their heart for Roadhouse because it is so absurd.
Yeah, just the premise alone is just pretty silly. That what do they call him, a cooler? Like,
yeah, he's a cooler. He's like
he
the
has
best
this fictional
bouncer.
job that doesn't exist.
Yeah, he's like this idea is like he's such a good bouncer. He can de-escalate situations like crazy, but then is just a ninja who everyone throughout the movie, as it is a joke, I thought you'd be bigger over and over again. And
Right.
he's just a fucking maniac badass.
Right.
John Danaher put a post up recently. He's the guy who's like the one of the Henzo black belts who he's like a very high
Danaher Death Squad
respected jiu-jitsu coach. And he was saying he told this story.
He likes to wear rash guards a lot. Has no fashion sense.
He has to. He likes to. He told a story about. And I do think this is a very profound sort of like thing. Was like. He was basically like, can just knowing about a different way of fighting or knowing a theory, even if you never train it, make you a better fighter? And he said that he was a door guy, and he was a really big fucking guy when he was younger, and he still is a big guy, but that he was a door guy with this other guy who like just drank and smoked and wasn't in shape and would talk about like what a fucking badass he was and just he doesn't care, he got in scraps all the time. And that like... He basically told John Danaher back, and this was back when John Danaher just did kickboxing and things like that and didn't really believe in this grappling shit or whatever.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, didn't really even train and just said that like, basically he saw the UFC and saw Royce Gracie just kind of grapple people, just kind of tie him up, fall on them, get them on the ground, and then punch them in the face.
Yeah.
and he thought that seemed like a good idea. And that like one night, this big, strong, crazy guy, like this bouncer was like, let's take it outside. And John Danaher was like, I don't know, this is going to go good for this guy. He's like really outmatched here. And that the guy did what he said. He just did the UFC thing. He like grappled him up, took him down, punched him in the face until they drag him off him. And he like beat the crap out of this big, strong, scary guy. And then he's like, just knowing about this different approach to fighting sometimes can be like so paradigm shifting that it helps you win.
Yeah.
But anyway, that guy sounds like the more drunk, out of shape version of Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse. Roadhouse is also such a like has the craziest bad guys. There's a line in that movie which is so problematic for now, but at the time it just makes you gasp and cackle with the absurdity of it. The bad guy says to Swayze, like, I used to fuck guys like you in prison.
Yep.
And then, there's forbidden techniques in the movie. There's like this forbidden kung fu shit that like you can murder people with your hands. It's just a great.
They created this weird canon that was just so incredible, where it was like, hey, there's this job, this mythical job known as a cooler that doesn't exist in real life, but for the purpose of this movie is a thing. Then we have shirtless Patrick Swayze doing katas by the fucking river.
Yeah, doing fucking Wing Chun, by the way.
Exactly.
And he looks a lot like Bruce Lee. He looks like a white Bruce Lee. His body is very Bruce Lee in this movie.
Yeah, he's super thin in this movie.
Just shredded, though.
Yeah. Absolutely. Listen, if you don't eat, like...
Whatever. This movie fucking rules.
We've spent a lot of time.
Too much time. But Swayze's on our list. Well, not Swayze. Dalton specifically. Because Dalton's super badass.
Moving on to number 3, Blade.
No, 6. That was 6. That was Dalton. We're on 5.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
We fucking fucked it up. Now everyone's going to know.
Oh, no.
5.
Casey Ryback.
Oh, Under Siege. You knew Steven Seagal had to make this list. Let's learn about it.
It was the final voyage of America's mightiest battleship.
What's on this helicopter?
This little sweetheart, Miss July 89.
Oh.
Hey, now.
The party was wild. They really knocked them dead. Imagine this arsenal of tactical nuclear weapons falling into the wrong hands.
Imagine.
The Pentagon never did.
4 minutes ahead of schedule. Damn, I'm good.
Now, a team of terrorists have taken over.
Wake up the president.
But there's just one thing they didn't count on. The cook.
Oh, wow.
The laziest kick in the history of kicks.
Oh my God, we're gonna die.
This is not the work of a cook.
I want you to coordinate your efforts with us.
Yes, sir.
I see that you completely disobeyed my orders.
Roger that.
Oh.
Expert in martial arts, explosives,
Stand fast!
weapons and tactics.
I also cook.
The Nimitz is tracking 2 Tomahawks just launched from the Missouri.
Where are they headed? Honolulu. Happy trails.
Stevens.
Yeah.
I know you, don't I?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Been a long time.
I'll see you in hell, Sailor Boy!
Under Siege.
I just love how he doesn't talk above this level on anything that he ever does.
Dude, I mean, that is fucking peak
This
Seagal.
is... He doesn't get much more Seagal than this. And it's also worth noting that he's also already not moving well at this point. Like, you saw that kick that he threw, that head kick that he threw?
Yeah.
It was lazy as shit. Just...
Casually, one arm choke one guy, kick another guy in the head, shoot the other guy.
Yeah.
I mean, peak Seagal. That's like dude, Seagal had to make this list because he is sort of the classic. He maybe is to me the peak expression of the like completely insane Hollywood fantasy of a martial artist kind of thing.
Right.
That like he does this style of martial arts, Aikido, which I'm not saying he's a very big, tall guy. I think he'd be
a giant man in real life.
really unpleasant to fight.
Right, and no, he was a kickboxer. He was Michael Ovitz's kickboxing instructor back in the day, which is how he got into the business.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how he got his start.
You could see like he'd be a handful for sure. Like he would suck. He's just a big fucking strong guy, and maybe he could even rip some of that Aikido shit on you because he's just so big and strong. I don't know, but
That also
just the way
explains
he gets bigger and bigger as the years go on, and it moves less and less, and he just has this style to him that's so insanely like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Is that what you think?
Just squinting all the time.
Why don't you just say it to my face?
Man, he's so good. So whatever. Under Siege is definitely Casey Ryback. I think is the most badass of the fucking fictional characters that he plays.
I mean, I guess we're also not including some of his more recent canon of
we are not, unfortunately.
crappy movies that he's been making.
Man, they're so fucking Seagal. Also, I didn't realize till right now, Under Siege is like a play on words of undersea.
You didn't realize that until right now?
I didn't.
You're a smart guy.
I never put it
Whatever.
together.
Yeah.
It's on a boat.
Number 4, Frank Martin, The Transporter.
Yeah, so I think we gotta watch the Transporter trailer because I honestly don't know, but we were like, someone needs to represent the bridge because obviously we didn't. Oh, I guess this was 2002, so we a little bit broke the rules, but it's probably made in the late 90s. But like, we only had a couple that bridged this gap. Like, Jason Bourne's not on this list. Spoiler alert. James Bond is not on this list. We thought about it, but like, they don't fit the vibe that we're going for, which is kind of like this completely absurd martial artist fantasy thing. Jason Statham as fucking his name is Frank Martin apparently, but we're just gonna say the Transporter.
The Transporter, exactly.
It's like a really good expression of like the action's starting to move into this new age of like more physical, more technical, more parkour-y even. I don't know. And it's just, this was the thing he did because he had done Snatch already, I think, right?
Right.
Which was like, he's in that movie not playing a fighty guy. He's like Brad Pitt, they make the fighty guy. And Jason Statham's just kind of this guy who's not going to fight. But in real life, he was like this big martial artist for a long time, which also earned him points on our list that the actor plays.
That actually have some skills. Yeah. In addition to being an Olympic high diver. You know, I
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Let's be reminded. Let's see this trailer.
I was wondering if you wouldn't mind transporting something for me.
Because he's the Transporter.
From the maker of The Professional and La Femme Nikita.
Once we make a deal, the terms of that deal cannot be changed or renegotiated.
Frank Martin is the best in the business.
75,000. Half now, half on delivery.
He never made a mistake until today.
What kind of state am I in?
Deep trouble.
You know what to do. Just be quiet. Why'd you try to kill me?
You broke the rules. You opened the package.
Ooh.
He did break the rules.
This fall, rules are made to be broken. The Transporter.
Oh,
that's very New Millennium. that is pretty.
That's very new metal. Very you can see the action sort of taking a turn, like you had mentioned.
Yeah, but very physical, very high flying, very fast paced. I mean, his reflexes are so good that he fucking diverts a rocket propelled grenade
with a serving tray.
With a serving tray. Wow, amazing. So whatever. We just felt like someone needed to represent this list. And also, he's just super badass. He's like
Jason
high up on the
Statham
list.
is incredible. He's one of my heroes in a way.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, also you can see how his voice changes over the course of 20 years, where it's like his voice was like relatively high here, and that was before 20 years of cigarettes and Jameson's.
And also just like I feel like there's a thing where he just like John Bernthal does it too when he plays Punisher.
Yeah,
where like. The Punisher is a show that is a guilty pleasure of mine because I just loved The Punisher when I was a fucking kid. I just love The Punisher. I just love The Punisher. But John Bernthal in that movie does this thing. The movie's full of actors who are definitely... John Bernthal's actually arguably a badass in real life. He got into trouble when he was younger and he was a boxer and stuff like that. But a lot of the other actors in the movie are just doing tough guy voices. They're so Hollywood actors, like doing tough guy stuff. And I feel like I can say this because I feel like I fall into this trap when I try to audition for tough guy stuff, where you just suddenly everything's a little bit from a more of a city than they normally would
I'm
be.
a little bit more urban over here.
But
You
John
know what I
Bernthal, like
mean?
that whole movie is just being like, no, like Walking Dead.
Frank Castle.
Walking Dead. The whole thing of the guy being like, Carl, no, Carl. You know? Carl. Jason Statham feels like he a little bit does that too. Over time, he started to talk even more tough than he did before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The register gets lower.
It gets lower and gets more obtuse as far as the accent. It's like, wait, where do you think you're from?
Whatever. Fucking he had to make it on it. So the transporter, a.k.a. Frank Martin, apparently, the transporter comes in at
everybody knows him as the
high
transporter.
seed of number 4.
That's because of my love for Jason Statham. Let's move on to number 3, as I already tipped my hat earlier. Blade from the movie Blade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. And we're definitely going to fucking watch the Blade trailer right now before you even get into this. Because you know Wesley Snipes had to be on this fucking list.
Yeah, absolutely.
You better wake up. The world you live in is just a sugar-coated topping. There is another world beneath it. The real world.
For thousands of years, they have existed among us.
You keep your eyes open. They're everywhere. Chances are you've seen them yourself and didn't know it.
A secret nation
Our livelihood depends on our ability to blend in.
with a lust for power.
We should be ruling the humans. These people are our...
Stephen Dorff, you know?
Everything. Politics, finance, real estate.
There's a war going on out there.
Chris Christopherson.
I use them.
Now, one will lead them to conquer mankind,
Tonight, the age of man comes to an end.
We're gonna be gods.
and one will try to stop him dead.
There are worse things out tonight than vampires.
Like what?
Like me.
Half human,
Blade's mother was attacked by a vampire.
Dude, DJ Kyoki's soundtrack. Holy
This
shit.
fucking song.
You got the best of both worlds.
All our
Oh,
strengths.
man, this takes me back.
None of our weaknesses.
he is their greatest fear and our only hope.
It's open season on all vampires.
So fucking good.
Wesley Snipes, Stephen Dorff,
You're one of them, aren't you?
No, I'm something else.
Blade.
I just got a little high listening to that soundtrack.
Oh my
That was
That's
so amazing.
fucking good. Also holds up.
Yeah, holds
That
up.
song is so good.
That was incredible. That reminds me of was it Blade, the third one, Blade Trinity, where Wesley Snipes was like accused. I think I don't even know if he was accused. I think he admitted to like choking the director because he was like so high on coke and all.
I don't
like,
remember that, but that's awesome.
Oh,
Well, that was the one too that had Ryan Reynolds is in that movie in Blade 3 and Trinity looking jacked that you were like, whoa, Ryan Reynolds is fucking.
He
I feel like
decided
that's
to
where you
lift.
started to be like, he could be an action hero, which is
Yeah,
I feel like the becoming Deadpool started with Blade Trinity.
do you think they take place in the same universe?
Sure. I'll say
do it.
yes. But Blade, okay, why not Passenger 57? Why not the guy from Art of War, whatever the fuck that movie's called?
Yeah.
Why not Simon Phoenix from Demolition Man? Why
Sure.
Blade?
Oh, yeah.
I think Blade, even taking away his supernatural vampire powers, because we're going to take that away a little bit.
Right.
I just think Blade has the most fighting experience. I mean, arguably you could say Simon Phoenix has more like skills because he's like implanted with them while he's frozen in ice.
Right.
But I don't think a planted in skill is going to be as good as something that's just in your body and your bones. And I think we've been fighting vampires since you were a child.
You just have more skills to draw from, more time, more in the gym, if you will.
You got all kinds of
more
karate.
reps. Yeah. And you also know how to use a blade.
Yeah, just the right mix of like swagger and capability.
It's so hyper stylized too. Like from
Blade
his haircut to his glasses to his like
Blade. They should fucking bring Blade back. I don't know why Marvel doesn't. Of all these dumb fucking superhero movies they can't stop redoing over and over again, Avengers and shit.
Yeah.
Give us a Blade movie. I would even accept or even be excited for a Blade Doctor Strange crossover.
Ooh.
Anyway.
Let me see if there's a Blade movie here.
There's no fucking way. Because also, I think they'd replace Wesley Snipes, and who would accept that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It feels like a no-brainer. It feels like they're really leaving money on the table to not be doing a Blade movie. Is Wesley Snipes difficult to work with?
Huh?
I'm sure he is. He just has that quality, right?
Oh, no. He's an insane person. Yeah. Don't you remember when he was challenging Joe Rogan to like an MMA fight or something like that?
I don't, but that would be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he'd lose.
I would think so too. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, though, from what I hear.
But I don't know. Maybe he's secretly good at jiu-jitsu. I don't think so. But
Probably
his kicks
not.
look amazing.
Yes. No,
He's
absolutely.
definitely no slouch in the kickboxing department.
All right. We have 2 slots left.
Top 2 seeds. All right. We're in our top 2. Number 2.
Frank Dux, Bloodsport.
That is correct.
Oh, Frank Dux.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is probably inspiration for the whole list.
Yeah, really, he is.
And, you know, like we said, we saw him in this clip training with Chuck Norris back in the day. Jean-Claude Van Damme, as we looked into it, might be the best, like, whatever you'd call this thing. Like action movie star,
Action movie
VHS.
star.
Like the movies they were in were like, feel like B movies, but they were fucking AAA titles when they were made.
Right. Most of them were made by Canon Films, you know, and they just have this look and feel to them that is just like you're watching an action movie that might be a comedy. Maybe.
Yes, it will definitely have dumb, funny one-liners. It'll definitely have plot holes. It doesn't matter. We're trying to give you a shell, a framework. And the close runner-up for this was, for both of us, Time Cop. But we picked Frank Dux from Bloodsport because in terms of just fighting ability, probably is the toughest one. Plus, that's one where he does the dance, right?
Yeah, he does the dance. I mean, he also does the splits to the nuts. Like, there are so many iconic movies. He goes kick for kick with our old Muay Thai coach.
That's right.
You know, like there's just so many things that are really iconic about this. And also, it's really the first time that we see JCVD in America where he is the breakout star of a movie.
Completely. Yeah.
And again, we have to thank Chuck Norris for that, apparently.
Thank you, Chuck Norris. Yeah, it's spectacular. Frank Dux is the classic. Just the classic.
Yeah. He gets the invitation, or wait, no, he has to pursue the invitation to the Kumite,
yeah, I think because
right?
his friend gets killed in the Kumite or something like
Right.
that. And he's like, I gotta avenge my friend, blah, blah, blah. It's great. It's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so he's 2. Number 1, our number 1 seed in the bracket of all kinds of karate martial arts action stars
is Neo from the Matrix.
That's right. Keanu had to make this fucking list. He just had to. Keanu's like such a dark horse action star because, and maybe that's why he's such a soft spot in my heart, because he really never loses his Bill and Ted quality ever. No matter what he's in. Yeah. And you just see it kind of like mature a little bit over time. And I think... And I watched The Matrix last night at the theaters. Which
I think
like
that also heavily
bit.
influenced this list.
But he's like the one. Like by the time he's realized, and I know we're taking some of the supernatural stuff out of it, but we're just going to still let him keep his karate abilities. He's so fucking badass. He has to overcome people who are better than him. He has to beat people better than him in fights, which he does do before becoming transcendent and just can beat anybody. And also, I think it like represents the most like... To me, just this movie has the most metaphors of fighting in real life that help me out in the real world.
Sure.
Like there is no spoon and like these kind of ideas of like mind over matter and things are only real because you believe they're real. So if you believe more about yourself, about yourself as possible, that's like I think what we're supposed to, that's the best of what you can take away from fighting and fighting movies and fighting practices.
Sure.
So that got him up there for me too.
Yeah, and we can definitely just dive into that when we actually go through these brackets. But Neo is definitely at the top seed of this list, but he has some stiff competition.
So we'll just leave you with who's going to fight who. real quick on the way out. If you want to follow along at home,
if you're still listening,
next week we're going to dive into these brackets. Feel free to share any opinions with us on who wins what fights if you want to. But we got in up front because it's seeded 1 versus 16 and and down the list. So it's going to be Neo versus Red Sonja, Casey Ryback versus Raphael, Sue versus Chuck Norris, Frank Martin, the transporter, versus Kwai Chang Caine.
You have in the second position, the second seed, you have Frank Dux against Indiana Jones. Dalton versus Ivan Drago.
That'll be a good one.
Detective Inspector Yang Niang Lee from Rush Hour versus Rocky. And of course, you have Blade versus Martin Riggs
from Lethal Weapon.
That's
Incredible.
Right. Striker versus Grappler. I love that matchup.
Very exciting.
Styles make fights, everybody.
So there you have it. That's going to be part 1 of our fucking stupid first attempt at bracketology.
Look at this backdoor pilot coming to a close.
We love it. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on Fight Stuff this week. Get pumped. Let us know who you think's looking good in this thing. Blah, 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 whatever.
We're going to try and post as much of this as we can to the Instagram page. Hey, Jarrett Sleeper, where can people find you on the internet?
Jarrett Sleeper Poetry and Motion on Instagram. I've fully converted that to just doing my weird little workouts and poem things. And that's the most. You can Google me elsewhere, whatever. Where you?
Me, Zeke Thomas is rad on Instagram or ZekeThomas.com, of course. And where can we find? Where can people reach out to the podcast if they don't want to do it via Instagram?
Well, Instagram Fight Stuff Podcast. We post our viral clip of the week every week there. We'll put another couple little clips this week, and then we have just Fight Stuff Podcast at gmail.com. If you would like to send us any ideas you might have for
segments or viral fight clips or anything along those lines.
And that's it. Thanks, guys. See you all next week, Fight fans. Fight Stuff is a production of Mind Jam Media, and this dope-ass theme song was made by Jason Scardamalia. Thanks, Scardy! See you next time, Fight fans!